We are right in the center of our investigation here of everything that's happening with the New York Knicks. We have now reached out to 5 Knicks beat writers about the motivational fart that won Game 5. Christian Winfield of the Daily News tells us exclusively that the farter, quote, could be a rotation player. We have Steve Popper of Newsday telling us simply, you'll have to check with Fred. And now we're reaching out to the Knicks for official comment, but now we have found Fred Katz. And Fred Katz is of The Athletic. On Saturdays, he hosts the Knicks podcast, Katz and Shoot, twice a week. And he broke this story. Thank you. Thank you very much. He broke this story. Take me through the details of your reporting, how you reported it, what level of shame you had in reporting it, the status of journalism that you reported it.
You know, Dan, you go to journalism school and you study everything there is to be studied, right? And you have to learn everything that's textbook, and you learn ethics, and you learn the history of journalism and mistakes that other people made and ways that people handle tricky situations and how to report in war zones and all that. And you never go over whether a fart is off the record, on the record, or on background. And so it's really something you have to figure out in the moment. It's a trying situation, but I'm really glad it got us here.
Did you
guys are doing due diligence here?
Did you guys get due diligence? There's so many bad jokes here. Can you did you actually choose to talk to anybody, reach out to an editor to decide whether something like that is off or on the record? And furthermore, you're protecting who it is that did that. And so I think you're treating it there as if it were off the record, and I don't think it should be.
I'm treating it as on background. I'm treating the culprit to be a not necessary part of the story to share.
Starter or rotation player?
I'm not even going to go that far.
No, that's still protecting your source. Listen to me.
There are reports out there that it might be a rotation player.
That's right. Could be. Look,
can you confirm
look,
earlier
you
reports?
have to listen. I'm not going to do this with you unless you get me at least slightly closer. I want to change or push up against whatever the ethics are of this, because now you've reported it. And you're doing it on background, but you didn't get permission to report it, okay? You reported it anyway. And so you're denying us this information, but you're responsible. If you're going to come out here, you choose what you want it to be. Get us a little closer to the truth, Fred. I'm wasting a lot of money and time investigating your big story.
And graphics.
All right, here's what I'll tell you, Dan. As a reporter, and you know this, you go in the locker room and there is a certain element of... That's true as well. Honestly, there was none. It was very loud, and that was
silent
about
but
it.
Violent?
No, the opposite. It was loud but proud is really what it was.
But also not. You're saying no smell. It was just audio.
It was purely audio. As a matter of fact, when it happened, it strung along for, I would say, a lot longer than one might expect for a fart of that volume and in that context.
Well, you reported it was epic. Okay, I don't know how you arrived. Okay?
Could this have been a squeaky door?
For length and for volume is exactly why. And a few players looked over. It actually didn't get a reaction audibly at all. It got pure silence and a look over to that one player. And that one player looked around as if he was being inconspicuous and said with a completely straight face, "Something's up with the pipes in here."
No.
And that got the huge laugh.
No, okay, so it wasn't the fart. Wait a minute. All right, so we are now getting, now we're getting more important details. It was not the fart that cut the tension. It was the lie. And it was the lie. It was the lie.
It was the lie. And I'm pretty confident the lie was said tongue in cheek, because it was really the entire sequence that really did it. And I wouldn't say there was a ton of tension to begin with. However, if there was any tension before that, I think it all evaporated.
All right,
there.
can I get some help from the room, okay? Because I'd like to interrogate our journalist. He likes being the journalist. He's broken the big story. He gets the big attention today for it. But I would like to ask him questions that he is comfortable answering that doesn't betray his source, doesn't break the rules of the ethics of the locker room, but get us slightly closer to being able to sniff around who this might be than we presently are.
What side of the locker room did this come from? Yeah.
What side of the locker room?
Yes.
This came from a locker room, a locker somewhat centered, somewhat in the middle. Centered somewhat in the middle.
Okay.
So it could be one of the better players because they're not going to put the best players. I feel like are in the middle.
I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, you guys asked a question there that doesn't.
No,
get us,
but what I'm doing right now is
I don't think that
Googling
really
the
helps
locker room.
you there.
I'm Googling the locker room. I can maybe, depending on locker room placement, I can eliminate some guys.
But you've got the investigator here, and all you're doing is creating more investigation for yourself. He goes into the locker room.
I mean, it's very clear he's not going to give us what we want.
No, I understand that, but your question didn't get us any closer to an answer.
It will once I get the picture of what it looks like.
No, but the audience needs an answer to this. Can I get some help from the room here on... it is a player who has had minutes in this series.
It is a player who has had minutes in this series. I will give you that.
See, now we're closer.
It is a player who has had minutes in this series.
Okay.
I can give you that.
How many rebounds?
I can tell you that.
No, you can't do that. That's too close to it. You guys don't know how to play this game.
Has this player averaged more or less than 25 minutes per game for the Knicks in this postseason?
Well, it's got to be less. It's got to be less.
He's guessing. Again, an epic fart reported in the Knicks locker room, an epic fart of leadership.
But is he throwing that out there because maybe this player was averaging more than 25 minutes per game but then got hurt and is no longer playing, and he's taking the 0 minutes into account? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves.
Okay, not really out loud, though. Those are the questions we should keep to ourselves as we get closer to the truth here.
I'm just looking for looks on his face as we throw this out
for clues. I understand. We are trying to get to the bottom of this. Lucy, do you have any questions that you think will get us closer to the truth?
No, but I just have a question in general. Don't you think that if this fart brought the locker room together, then the player would be proud of this fart and want their identity out there to get MVP?
It's a big win.
It's a great point. It is a fantastic point. He may very well. However, I think I would have to check in with that player first before I publicly embarrassed him.
Message them right now and say, "Can I tell everyone about your fart?"
That's right. Let's
ask.
Okay,
Worst you can do is say no.
Would you describe the fart as precious?
There was actually a precious fart moment earlier this year.
What?
All right, we can eliminate him from this one.
that I feel confident in saying because that one got some play on Knicks Twitter.
Hartenstein.
So there was.
Hartenstein does have a centrally located locker. Yeah.
Precious, what was the previous fart story with Precious, please?
It was he let one go during a scrum, and that one got out and made its way onto the internet amongst. So Knicks farting is becoming a thing.
If we have one final show guess, can you confirm or deny? Because you've given us a lot of sleuthing to do, and I think we're close to having a formal guess.
I don't think he's going to tell us if we have a formal
I can
guess.
give you the guess. I can't confirm it. You can try to read it from my facial expression. I will always protect the farter. That I think is rule number one of journalism at this point.
Okay.
Always protect it.
All right. Given the jersey number, where the fart location was, Jeremy asked some really good questions. Jeremy, you want to present our guess?
Hold on. Before you do that, I'm getting texts here from other sources telling me, I don't know what, I can't talk to you guys directly, that it's Burks. That it's Burks is what I'm getting here just on my texts immediately. So if that's what you guys want to offer as our official guess, be careful.
That wasn't going to be our guess, so now we might have to do some more investigating because we
did blink a lot when Dan said that.
It's interesting. We were putting together the combination of how many minutes per game was this player playing, where was the location in the locker room. If we're talking about a long and powerful fart, we're thinking maybe a big man.
Alec Burks does not have a centrally located locker.
Okay, bad information I'm getting.
I have the layout of the locker room.
But I don't, Jeremy, I don't know what you're doing. You cannot profile these things based on size. I mean.
We've had a lot of context clues here.
Yeah.
But Jeremy's
I
saying.
don't think size matters at all.
Yeah, I think
Never
height,
does.
Height has no correlation.
Yeah, fiber does.
Height has absolutely no correlation.
What is our guess?
Mitchell Robinson.
He smirked.
He pursed his lips.
Well, I can tell you this. That's a poor guess because Mitchell Robinson is currently recovering from surgery.
Well,
So
right.
it's not
It's
even
the Knicks
around.
And was
locker room.
not-
Not around.
was not
Lot of
around.
medicine,
Not around at all.
not
A lot of
around.
medicine in
That's
his
great,
system.
great.
Looking at
What
the
a
locker room.
guess by us is a good
That's
Farty
the
guess.
worst. That's the worst guess could have gone.
My God.
McBride.
That's the one
that's
that
what-
I can confirm.
That's
it was,
what
it
all
was
of our
not him.
investigation produced. Like, look at that. Look at.
Deuce McBride.
All right. You know what? You go sit in the penalty box. Fred, you get out
telling
of
you,
here.
that's it.
Thank you for your reporting. 2 minutes for high shticking. Get out of here. Thank you.
I love you guys having me on. I love you guys for looking into this. You guys are the best show.
Thank you, sir. The Athletic NBA show on Saturdays. He hosts the Knicks podcast, Katz and Shoot, twice a week. What were the rejected names before Katz and Shoot? What finished in second place?
Katz on Broadway was one that was put out there, but that was honestly even cornier. I thought that was even cornier than Katz and Shoot.
Jeremy loves it. Look at him.
I
over
do.
there,
I love
just
it.
grinning maniacally.
This
Thank
is
you.
the best.
Thank you, Fred. I'm just ashamed of our group. I think our audience is disappointed on our behalf that the community wanted to make a good guess there, and you guys trying to do
We
the
tried, man.
research
It's
come
like
up with
this.
Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, this guy's treating it like Watergate.
He's
What
not
do you want
even
me to
around
do?
the team.
R.
Why are you still here? Get out of here? Why are you still here? You need to get out of here.
Are you? Who are you talking to?
I don't
Katz
watch
or
it.
Cody?
Both of you. Get Katz out of here. Get Chris Cody out of here. Get everybody out of here because I'm annoyed. How can Mitchell Robinson be our guest? He's
Well,
not
he has
around.
locker room access. He's got a centrally
He's
located.
not
It's in
around
New
the
York.
team. The guy
It was McBride.
We all know that.
It was McBride.
He was
Admit it,
willing
Katz.
to
You
do
tried to
it.
guess Alec
And
Burks.
he
It
was
was
willing
going to
do
be
it.
Alec Burks before,
He
but you
was
took the
gonna
Alec
give
Burks
us
guess.
the fart
You took our Alec
side.
Burks guess.
No, I threw it to you.
Yeah, because you took our
You
guess
had a
before.
worse guess
That's not how you
than
set up
mine.
our
It
guess.
had to
By
be.
taking our guess.
God, I hate you guys.
R.
I am a little concerned because we haven't quite gotten to the bottom of this story, but at present, the Knicks PR department has still not responded to our request for comment on Deadline, in which we asked, quote, can you confirm or deny that Alec Burks dealt the reported, quote, epic fart before Game 5? New York Post reporter Steph Bondy has responded to our inquiries with exclusive commentary on his own. He says, quote, sorry, this is dumb, end quote. So,
Oh, that guy.
yeah, the Knicks, that guy, and the Knicks in general, they're not being cooperative. So I don't think we're going to get any closer to this story than we already are. Before we bring on Mike Schur, though, did you guys have been dying to talk about this 911 call. Did we want to share this with Schur, or do you want to just share it with our audience and have Schur wait for a second?
Mike Schur is there in the Zoom, so I think he can watch like what we're doing. So this is not a 911 call, Dan. This is a 911 clip. As in, like, 911 Lone Star, the
it's a
show that
show.
Rob Lowe is on. And you could not watch it. I don't know how many in our audience do, but I'm just going to play, like, a very short, like, 8-second clip to perhaps entice you into this upcoming episode, a recent episode of 911 Lone Star.
He's starting compressions.
Cap Medical's here.
Oh, I saw this on John Oliver. I saw this the other day.
Yeah, that is a frozen man that Rob Lowe had to do chest compressions on. So when he gets the script, he reads that, and if we could play it back one more time, I think he knocks the assignment out of the park.
It's great. It really is great.
He's starting compressions.
Cap Medical's here.
Mike Schur worked with Rob Lowe. That's probably some of the best work you've ever seen Rob Lowe do.
Literally.
That's a catastrophe. You got to turn your microphone on.
It's on.
Okay. All right.
It's on.
All right.
I'm an
All right.
industry professional.
It's
I wasn't
Cody.
muted.
It's Chris Cody. He's not an industry professional. Go ahead.
I see.
Continue.
I was going to say that it's up there with Dog Ate Dan's Heart, if you've ever seen that, for One Tree Hill. Yeah, Lucy's giving me a
It is so
applause.
good.
When we were
One
talking
of the
about
best
this,
moments on TV.
Lucy and I were talking about this clip before the show, and immediately she went to dog eating a heart.
Yeah, that's the greatest 30 seconds in TV history, I think.
Really?
Like,
Wow.
Yeah. We were on the Good Place, in the Good Place writers' room. We were obsessed with that, and we watched it hundreds and hundreds of times and just broke it down. Here we go.
All right, let's
There's
do it.
so many things.
Let's do it
Yeah,
together. No, let's do it right now. We're going to roll this right now. Yes, this is horrifying.
No one moves. And then, first of all, why is there a dog in the hospital at all?
To eat the heart.
He really needed that heart transplant.
But look at the look that Chad Michael Murray gives here. Oh, you just cut it off. But he gives him a look. He gives Dan a look like, I told you. Like as if he knew this was going to happen. Also, if you play it again, there's a couple really great details. One of which is that the heart, when it rolls out of the container, here we go. Okay, so watch what happens here. The leash trips him. It rolls out of the container. It's right next to a black line. Now we cut to this shot, and it's nowhere close to the black line. It's going to a completely different place.
I mean, okay.
This dog really
But
mucked everything up.
the nurse gives a look of like, oh no, not again, which is like, I think this is a hospital where several organs have been eaten by pets. And then the look, but the ending look is like, I told you so. I told you that
no
if
one's
you
trying to
try
stop
get
the
a,
dog. The dog
No.
just takes the
No.
heart and goes.
No one makes a move. Like even the guy who falls down and drops the heart just kind of lies on his stomach for like, I don't know, 15 seconds, just frozen in a sort of like as if he's a chalk outline on the ground. Look at that look. That's amazing. Like, it's like, I told you, we all knew this was going to happen.
Mike
Here we
Schur,
go.
before we get to your stat of the day and before we get to your beloved Celtics, that's going to happen to you this season with your Celtics, metaphorically. A dog's going to run on the
Or
court.
the chest compression.
Something's going to happen. The chest compression, that's correct. I want to show you, would you like to see Deshaun Watson's back tattoo? I want to show you this. Are you somebody who's interested in this at all? Because you're not? Okay, show it to Mike Schur.
All right. So there's a lot going on in this back tattoo. I isolated two things that are fairly absurd about this back tattoo. Did anyone want to take a guess?
Sorry, you isolated two things?
Just two. Everything else
Okay.
seems like pretty run-of-the-mill for NFL player back tattoos. So
Sure.
there is if you see right beneath the NFL logo, there are 3 rings. One I think was like a high school ring. The other one's a college football national championship ring. And then there's a blank ring on his back. Yeah, that's right there next to Martin Luther King in a fitted.
There's MLK.
There is a blank Super Bowl ring.
Does it say I have a dream?
I have
on
a
the
dream.
hat?
Yes,
If you weren't
that's a hat.
sure.
Wearing an I Have a Dream hat. Yeah, he made merch.
And I have a dream fitted hat on Martin Luther King. That somehow steals the show from the empty Super Bowl ring from a quarterback that we don't know is actually any good anymore.
What is underneath the blank ring? Is that an astronaut or something?
That is an astronaut.
What is?
Yeah, that's an
Yes.
astronaut.
That's an astronaut.
That's a dumb question by you.
Yeah, what's the matter with you? Isn't it obvious that
Yeah.
it's an astronaut?
Yeah.
And that it's Martin Luther King with a baseball cap that reads, I have a dream. Can we put that in our merch store?
With a New Era sticker still
No,
on the
no,
on
you
the
can't.
fitted
You
cap.
can't. It's important to me that you know that you can't do that.
Just the tattoo. I'm not saying just the hat. I'm saying
the tattoo. Yeah,
yes.
maybe, yeah.
You think we can do that?
He also hedged
No,
his,
you can't. I'm sure it's copyrighted. All that stuff is copyrighted. You cannot sell merch
If you see
of
this
his back tattoo.
If you see the back tattoo, like the empty Super Bowl ring, he's actually lucked out because it kind of seems like it's a Cleveland Browns helmet on the ring, but their helmet is such that you could also shade that in if he were to win one as a backup somewhere else.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. It looks like the helmet is blank in the same way that the top of the ring is blank, so that when he wins his ring, ostensibly he could fill in the logo on the helmet
Right.
and also the right. Okay.
Right, but he can presently claim like, oh no, that's a Browns tattoo.
Oh, I see.
Before we get to Mike Schur's stat of the day, just play that again. Not the dog, please. I just want to see Rob Lowe cave that frozen person's chest in again.
Starting compressions.
Cap Medical's here.
It's just a terrible result to have if you're a paramedic who's trying to save a life.
Yeah,
there. It's just you
it's
can't expect that.
Worst possible result. I
It
think.
really is.
I would have
It's
checked his
horrifying.
vitals first before going in for that move.
It stays with you forever. Imagine that night just going home, honey, you're not going to believe what happened at work. I was trying to save a man, and then instead I caved his frozen chest in. It was horrifying.
Yeah. Well, you know how I do the thing where I like do the chest compressions? Well, something different happened this time.
Is that going to happen?
This is actually my fear if someone's ever choking at a restaurant that I don't know my own strength. Now, it's not usually with a frozen solid person, but I just feel like I'd break all sorts of ribs and actually push through someone's cavity.
Your fear is performing CPR in front of people and hurting someone more and not saving their life?
Right. Like now.
Because he's so strong.
Yeah,
because
now
he's so powerful.
Well,
yeah.
it's also not just because I'm so powerful and strong, though I am those things. It's also because I don't have the proper form down. I never paid attention when we actually went through these things. I wasted too much time watching the YouTube on how to do this, that the person's probably dead.
I think it happens most times, though, that the ribs are broken. I don't know where I read that, but
Most times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most times?
Yeah, you want to save a life, got to break a few ribs.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Does the Heimlich maneuver most times break a few ribs? What is the stat of the day music that we're doing today? Long version or short version?
I think,
Start
yeah,
of the
we've-
day, start of the day, it is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is the start of the day.
Sure, just Chris just said in my ear, I've had a clean few days. I'm really the bed today. You were saying, Mike Schur.
Nothing. Forget it. I was hoping Stugotz was going to be here for this. Jokic had 40 points the other night against the T-Wolves. You know, I heard you talk about it, but people are saying, you know, he's the greatest ever. I just want to say slow your roll. MJ in the playoffs, you know how many times he had 40 points in the playoffs? 38. 38 times. Of course, Jokic also had 7 rebounds, but whatever. You know how many times Jordan had 40 and 7 in the playoffs? 17. 17 times 40 and 7. Greatest ever. And yes, fine. Okay, Jokic also had 13 assists. Who cares? You know how many times Jordan had 47 and 13 in the playoffs? Never. He never did that. And you know how many times in the playoffs Jordan had 40 and 13 assists? Forget the rebounds. Also never. You know how many times Jordan had 47-13 in any game in his career, regular season or playoffs? Once. April 13th, 1989 against Indy. Also in that game, he had 4 turnovers. He didn't hit a 3. He took 30 shots, and Jokic only took 22 in his game. And also the Bulls lost to Indy by 4. Whatever. The point is MJ's the GOAT. We all know it. By the way, LeBron has had one 47-13 playoff game. May 3rd, 2018 against Toronto. So in his, whatever it was, 14th season. But it doesn't matter. Michael Jordan.
Not with 0 turnovers, he didn't. Not with
No,
0.
he sure didn't.
No,
No.
it's just insane. We've got less than 90 seconds remaining. Go ahead. Tell us whatever you've got on your Celtics here, because it's not a coincidence that you showed up today.
You know, it's not at all. I told your producer that I would only show up if the Celtics won. Here's the thing. Every Celtics text thread is the same in all of these games. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Missoula sucks. Tatum can't hit a shot in the clutch. We won by 15. It's the same thing every time. And Charlotte's got it all wrong. Charlotte's outlook on this is completely wrong, because getting to the Eastern Conference Finals was the bare minimum for this team. Like it's like it is a little bit of like, okay, it's time to win a chip. But to me, the expectations game with the Celtics is helped so much by Jokic, because if you can get to the finals and you lose to that guy, no one thinks that you screwed up. It doesn't matter. It's like that guy. The guy's invincible. He's
This
a
is some
Terminator.
Jason Tatum math
Right?
here that is being
No,
applied.
it's not.
Dude,
No, it's absolutely
You
not.
have to win.
Win one
You have
in my
to win.
lifetime.
You have to win,
please,
Schur. You
for
have
the love
to.
of God.
You have
for as
to
much
win.
as you guys talk about
You
history.
have to win the
for
whole
as much
thing.
as you think you guys are a big deal, win it, please.
Win the whole
Win one
thing.
in 4K.
Win the whole
Win
thing.
one in 4K.
Always great to see you guys.
See you
Go
later.
Cats.
See you later. Go Cats. That was
Balls in a blender.
That was pathetic. Go Cats was pathetic as a sign off.
So was Morgan Geeky.
Fred Katz.
This is very exciting, Stugotz. Look at this man. His face makes me happy. His jokes make me happy. His work makes me happy. He has taken time out of his day. I know he was eating a sleeve of saltines in his underwear, watching Carlito's Way, and he has stopped doing that so he can join us. Patton Oswalt is with us. He's been doing comedy for more than 35 years. His effervescent tour is about to hit Grand Rapids, Detroit, San Diego, Denver, Baltimore, Providence, San Francisco, and Salt Lake. You can get tickets for his tour, PattonOswalt.com. He's been doing it great for a very long time. Thank you, Patton. I want to talk about your game show, but I'm a big fan of your work. And I'm talking about the documentary on Max, all of your work. I'm a big fan.
Well, Dan, thank you so much. That is unbelievably flattering. You quoted a very obscure bit of mine, and I'm kind of taken aback. Thank you, man.
Oh,
My head is smiling.
I love your facility with language. I love your take. I just love what it is that you have done with your comedy. So we'll talk about your game show in a second, but because we've got some guys here who want to pitch you some of their game show ideas.
I loved you in Ratatouille.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hang on. I want to hear game show ideas. I'm instantly intrigued by that.
Okay, we will. They're terrible, but they're terrible ideas.
Dan, they're not bad.
They're
Come
not
on.
They're not as good as 1% Club, which we're also going to play with him.
Did you like Carlito's Way, Dan?
I loved Carlito's Way.
Kleinfeld is perhaps Sean Penn's best character ever.
That can't be right.
I think it is, yeah.
He's actually pretty amazing in that movie, and he's so not Sean Penn. He's this absolutely different person on screen. It's kind of stunning watching him.
Yeah, he agrees.
I don't know if he agrees. I love Kleinfeld too. My friend was Kleinfeld for Halloween. I love that character. Yes.
Wait, whoa.
right.
Your friend dressed as Kleinfeld?
Yes,
What a great costume.
The costume thing goes way back
Did
with
he spend the whole day just going, well, there's this movie called Carlito's Way, and so there's a guy, you know Sean Penn from it. So that was his whole Halloween that year, was explaining his costume.
That's right. It is.
Who are you?
It's not an efficient costume, but it was just basically the hair that went straight up, and it was Sean Penn with a cocaine problem. Before we get into the meat of what it is that we're going to do here, just introducing you to some of the audience here. I heard Patrice O'Neill say the other day, he was talking about the comics that Mark Maron has birthed, and he called you a baby Maron, and I didn't know whether to take it as an insult or flattery, because I think of you as unique in the regard that you are and different from Mark Maron. But the thing that I wanted to ask you was, Mark Maron said in reaction to that, because they were talking about how happy and refreshed he now looks, that he's happier now, but he's also less funny because he's happy. And so I just wanted to ask you.
Who are you talking about? Because Patrice O'Neill's left us since 2011. It's confusing
Right.
hard to follow.
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe
sorry.
it was a rerun.
It was an old interview. I'm sorry.
Nah.
It was not a recent interview.
So
My bad.
looking less refreshed.
Yes.
Couldn't be. I mean.
But he was talking about Mark Maron and the happiness of Mark Maron, and Mark Maron was saying that he's less funny because he's happy. And so I just wanted to ask you, because you seem happier now, if you find that it has anything to do, happiness or unhappiness, with how funny you can be.
First off, I don't buy into that cliche that, if you're happy and well adjusted, you can't be creative. I've never bought into that. That's a myth that people are like, out of my torment came this great art. Usually the great art comes once you're done dealing with your torment and can look at it from a level of sanity and some happiness. It can't come from pure torment. And as far as being a Mark Maron baby, I wear my influences on my sleeve. So Mark was a huge influence. My friend Blaine Capatch was a huge influence. Bill Hicks. I mean, everyone is and Bill Hicks. I mean, Mark Maron is kind of a Bill Hicks baby. Like we all keep influencing each other, and then an influence helps you, if anything, figure out who you are even better. So I'm not one of those guys, again, I don't believe in the whole myth of I am absolutely unique and nothing influenced me. Well, that's clearly not true. Everyone is influenced by somebody, and get over the anxiety of that. Get over yourself and just enjoy your influences.
Are you at your most confident right now?
No, I'm not. I'm still. I'm not 100% confident all the time. Not just in myself, but just in reality. Reality seems to be fracturing a little bit and fraying. So I don't really know. As confident as I am in myself, I don't know how confident I am in the world around me anymore. Take that how you want to, but I still think that you can find creativity and joy in the darkness. You have to. That's the only way to. That's the most vengeful thing you can do against darkness and sadness, is to be happy and celebrate and be funny and be a friggin' goofball.
That's interesting what you're saying, though. You're talking about the world around you. I was talking about confidence in your comedy, not confidence in the world or confidence overall. Or although I guess all of those things jumble together when you're a comedian and you're pouring yourself into your content every day.
Look, I think that the MC in Cabaret was very confident in his performing and comedy abilities, but I also think he was pretty aware of what was happening in the world around him. So yeah, I'm very confident in my comedy, mainly because I've been doing it 35 years, but it's going to be really interesting to see where comedy ends up holding a place in the world that's to come, if that makes sense.
It does, and Billy and Chris's ideas for game shows make slightly less sense. I look forward.
Hang on, by the way, I hope I'm not bumming everyone out. I'm not some guy holding a sandwich board saying the end is near. I just think a big change is coming. It's going to be really interesting to see how it all shakes out.
Actually, when I saw you in Los Angeles, though, it was in a show, I think, the next day Maron performed, and both of you were saying the end is near. Both of you were talking about the idea of how hard this, not how hard this is to do, but just the idea that it feels like we've got about 9 years left in the world before it explodes.
Yeah, it does feel like it feels like the first verse of that David Bowie song, 5 years. And then what are we going to do in the time that's left of us to us? Oh man, I'm sorry, this is supposed to be a fun.
What are we doing?
We're going to lighten it up right now. This is my fault.
This
is my fault. We're going to lighten it up right now.
The good news is if Mark Maron said in the Patrice O'Neal interview he was wrong.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Billy, what is your game show idea for Patton Oswalt?
Okay, Patton, I have two options here for you, two pitches for you, if you will. And they're kind of different, but I don't know if it's what you'd like, so I have like different types of shows here. The first one is called Patent Pending, okay? So think of a show like Shark Tank, right? And people come to you and they have pitches and they want to see if you're in on this, whether it be a product or whether it be a project. And if you like it, you give your patent pending approval to the product.
So it's just Shark Tank.
No, it's patent pending.
Right. You listening?
Yeah. His name is Patton.
Yeah.
Right.
Pending. But hang on. Are they only pitching products? Can they also be pitching like a film idea?
Absolutely.
Song?
Yeah.
It's anything they want to bring, and then I say whether we should pursue that, or it's not so much that whether I'm investing in them.
No.
It's me going, hey, keep doing this, or oh, dude, get off of this track right now.
No.
Oh
no, you've overcomplicated this. You don't say yes. You don't give them advice. You give them your patent pending.
But what's that mean? He's asking what's that mean when he does
well,
that?
It's a patent pending. Yeah. So he approves the project or the product or song or what have you.
Does he have to invest, though, is what he's saying?
Well, it's a patent pending.
Pending.
Yeah.
It's pending.
It's his patented patent pending because he does it a lot on the shows.
Yes.
Patented patent pending.
Yes.
You in on this?
It needs a few more. It needs some more layers.
If we were on the show right now, would you give me your patented patent pending?
Oh God, no.
Okay, all right. It's been rejected.
Well, I have another one.
His body language was so good when he was hearing your pitch.
Okay. Now this one, think of it more like American Idol or America's Got Talent for the theater, right? This one's called Patton Harvey Oswalt. And what you do is you have a number of theater people, performances, plays that you want to happen in the future. And they come and they're pitching it to you. And then if you like it, you see out the rest of the play. But if you don't like it, you assassinate Abraham Lincoln.
Wow. Come on.
Instead of hitting like the X, you assassinate Abraham Lincoln.
These are terrible ideas.
Patton Harvey Oswalt.
Well, no, it was John Wilkes Booth.
It would be. Look, that is beyond grim and sad. However, you could make it fun if every week there's a different guest, a celebrity Lincoln that gets fake assassinated. So, this week, so what we could do is
be celebrities?
But at the
that's
theater,
funny, like you bring celebrities in to play Lincoln. So it's like everyone who doesn't love actor Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Well, Don Cheadle will be playing Lincoln, and then that puts pressure on the people. Like, hey, you don't want to see Don Cheadle get assassinated, so let's really give it your best shot here.
Well, hold on. I'm rethinking this, and I think you'd have to be at a book depository instead of a theater, and then it wouldn't be Lincoln. It would be Kennedy.
Well, Don
Yeah,
Cheadle.
that's what I was about to say. You know that.
But you could get a car
Oswald
sponsorship
didn't
involved in
Lincoln.
it as well. You could get a car sponsorship to drive around the celebrities, and based on I guess this would be less about theater and more about parades. If you like, maybe we do this around Thanksgiving time, and they're auditioning for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and you think if it's a good act for the parade, then you kind of let the car dealership and the celebrity keep going, and if not, then
should I make him
you know how
stop
that
talking,
goes.
Patton?
You're using a lot of colors in this painting. Is all I'm saying.
I paint with a broad brush.
Why didn't you pitch that Oswald has a bullet that can travel backwards in time and kill Lincoln, and then that way we could tie both assassinations together?
I like that.
You think he's using a lot of colors in this painting, and you just made Don Cheadle Abraham Lincoln.
Well, listen, he's a great actor. I can't imagine a role he couldn't pull off.
Put it on the poll.
Blindfold.
Put it on the poll, Juju at Le Batard Show. Do you think Don Cheadle can pull off the role of Abraham Lincoln?
I absolutely think he can.
Let's.
So was that a yes? Patent pending on that idea?
I'm sorry, but no. But
Okay.
it was. Here's what I did. Listen, can I pitch a game show?
I guess, but
Wait. Yes, I need to tell everybody he's the host of the big new game show, The 1% Club. It premieres next Thursday for Prime Video subscribers, then Mondays at 9 p.m. on Fox starting June 3rd, plus the next day on Prime. Is that what you wanted to pitch or something else?
Well, I did want to pitch. Who was just pitching to me? What's his name again? I'm sorry.
Billy.
Roy.
Billy, a show where you pitched game shows would be weirdly entertaining.
Okay.
I like
What
it.
would be, here's what I want to call it. It's called Bus Stop with Billy. And we have different commuters, and then you come and sit next to them at the bus stop and start yammering like a crazy person. And these game shows to them, and we see how long they can last before they go, screw this, I'm calling an Uber and getting out of
Okay,
here.
how about
Before they
this?
tap out.
How about this? Where's Oswaldo?
Oh, good God.
Okay, we would show you a busy photo, like in Where's Waldo, except there's a little picture of you hidden inside of it.
I like it.
That you would have to find. Where's Oswaldo?
How about Aswalt my gum? And it's people, how much chewing gum can you swallow and digest and while naming movies and TV shows that I've been in? Again, that's just off the top of my head.
Do you believe that it takes 7 years for your body to process gum? Because then is this like a long play where we see it go all the way through you?
It's like the Up documentaries. We got to visit them every 7 years and see how the gum is being digested.
Huh.
Billy, do you
I
have
thought Up was about like an old man and balloons and such.
Well, yes, but there's also these cool documentaries where they visit these people every 7 years. It's really awesome.
Do you
How
have
about General Patton? So in this situation, there's a sports tie-in.
Wow.
General Patton.
we
So
go.
obviously the NBA and the NHL playoffs are happening right now. Seasons are on the line. Things are going down to the wire. But, as go sports, there's a team on the brink of elimination. Seasons will be ended. Careers will end. So you need someone to come in and give a speech. And that's where you come in. An inspiring speech from General Patton. And you're named General Patton in this. You would play the role of General Patton.
Am I on an actual show right now, or are my PR guys playing a prank?
Are we at a bus stop or
Is this an actual show, or did you guys build this today just to mess with me?
This was a terrible idea, poorly executed, but he's got a good idea that's well executed as the new game show host for the 1% Club.
Wow, good save, Dan. Way to get us out of that cul-de-sac, buddy.
This quicksand we've fallen into. It premieres next Thursday for Prime Video subscribers, then Mondays, 9 p.m. on Fox, starting June 3rd, plus the next day on Prime as well. Do you mind if we play a little 1% Club with you?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do it.
He minds. That's
All
what
right.
I meant.
This is question number 1. 80% of Americans got this question. Patton, do you mind reading this if it's on the screen, if you can see it on the screen,
Yes.
and if your PR people are not playing a prank on you? 80% of Americans got this. Let's put this on the screen for Patton Oswalt. General Patton.
All right. I'm looking for it. Is it in the chat?
It's
or is it
coming.
on
No,
the
it's
screen?
coming. It's a slow burn.
Okay.
It's a slow burn.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Mr. and Mrs. Kim have 5 sons. Each son has 1 sister. How many children do the Kims have? Your 30 seconds starts now.
Go ahead, Stugotz. Mr. and Mrs. Kim have 5 sons. Each son has 1 sister.
All tactic.
How many
How
children?
many children do the Kims have? I can read. I see it. Where are they from? Where are they from?
What do you
I just want to
mean?
know where they're from.
Des
I'm
Moines.
interested. Oh, that changes everything. I'm going to say 5.
All right. Do you want the answer?
Dan?
I'm not sure.
I don't have the answer.
Oh.
I think it's 6.
Yeah, it's 6, right?
6.
It's 6.
Oh, go! Thank God.
Yeah, but Des Moines.
So people got that one wrong.
Well, no, 80% of Americans got this right. This one, only 45% of Americans got this. Let's put this up on the
All right.
screen.
Here we go. Yeah,
Question,
they get hard really quick.
question
Ready?
number 2.
What are the only 3 letters that appear in the names of every day of the week?
Wait a minute. That one's
I
not.
think I know.
I think Stugotz can get this one right. You have 30 seconds, Stugotz. Only 45. This one's hard to believe that only 45% of Americans
It's weird.
got this right. Go ahead, Stugotz.
Where are they from?
Oh, God.
The Americans who got this right?
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
from
America.
America. Scott.
That changes
They're
everything.
from
Okay.
North America.
DAY.
There it is. Look at Stugotz. Way to go.
Smart guy.
Patton, why do you love doing this show? A game show host seems perfect for you. You get to ad-lib all the time and have interplay with people that have to be funny.
That's exactly why I love it. We have these contestants. The contestants are the audience. It's 100 people, and some of them have the wildest backstories. And I just talk with them, and we all play off each other, and you kind of follow these little mini dramas as they march toward the 1%. And that in itself is fascinating to me. I love it.
Do you have, if I can do some biographical stuff with you, because I've got a million curiosities, do you have a project that you've done that represents the most fun for you, that you, and it's different from having the most pride in a project that you've produced?
Oh, boy. I mean, the one that I had the most fun doing, there was a documentary that I produced called The Comedians of Comedy, and it's just my friends and I. It's me, Brian Posehn, Zach Galifianakis, Maria Bamford. We're just on the road, traveling in a van, doing little music clubs, and that whole process of making it, first the documentary, then we did a 6-episode TV show. It was pure fun. It was just hanging out with my friends and filming each other, and I loved it.
Have you been able to recreate that anywhere? Just screw it, because I can't imagine creatively there would be anything more fun than being able to just create content all the time, riffing among equals on stuff that allows you to say yes and.
It was really fun. I've never been able to recreate it. I'm kind of happy that I haven't been able to, only because it was lightning in a bottle. It was a very specific time in all of our lives where we were young and just kind of stupid and really loose. And now we're all, older and varying degrees of success. It would be hard for us to all get back together and get back in the van at this point in our lives. So it's just good that record exists of, oh, look at us just hanging out and being weirdos. I love it.
Is there a role above all others that people want to talk to you about? If it's Goldberg's, Parks and Rec, King of Queens,
People really like King of Queens. They really like Ratatouille. I also get a lot of sports people really, really love Big Fan because, especially if you listen to sports radio, there are people like that call in, and there are fans like that you will encounter if you're a fan of a sports team. And so that seems to have that's a little film that resonated with a lot of people.
How the hell, what do you say to fans who come up to you and it's a parking attendant, right? He's addicted to the New York Giants?
He is a completely obsessed fan, obsessed with one player, one team, and that's his life. He doesn't want anything else out of life but just to watch his football team. And he, I just get a lot of people going, I know someone like that, or like my cousin is like that, or my brother was like that, or like that's someone that a lot of people have encountered, weirdly enough, and that's kind of cool.
Acting isn't as cool as comedy, right? It's stand-up is your favorite thing.
Well, stand-up is the one thing where there's no notes. It's just me. That's all it is. Acting is a collaborative thing. Writing is collaborative, eventually making movies. Stand-up is the one thing where it's you. It's whatever's in your head. You walk out, one microphone, that's it. It was fantastic.
What's more difficult?
Sometimes comedy can be difficult if you're trying out something new and you haven't found a way into it. But for the most part, acting tends to be more difficult because there's so much more energy involved and being aware and listening to all these different things and being aware of the camera and the light. And there's a million things going on in your head while you're trying to seem very, very natural and nonchalant.
That's super interesting because I've always thought that stand-up comedy is the hardest thing. And it's not hard for you because you've been doing it for 35 years.
I've been doing it for so long. I'm sure if you talked to me 20 years ago, I'm like, stand-up's really hard. But when you've been doing it as long as I have, it's actually, there's no difference between me off stage and on stage. I can just walk up there and I just talk to people and it's fantastic. It just feels really, really real to me.
How do you deal with hecklers?
I'm really good with hecklers. Not that I'm so quick-witted. It's that I have dealt with hecklers, again, for 35 years. I've lost a lot of times. Hecklers have beat me in the past. And then the next day you wake up and go, oh, that didn't even matter. So now I'm fearless because I know in the end I still win. They came to see the show. I have their money. There's a light on me and I have a microphone. I'm going to win.
Oh, but that's a good attitude to have, right? I heard Seinfeld talking the other day about a heckler that got him in '93 that it stays with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You would think with his level of success, he would go, maybe that guy was wrong.
Yeah, but I
seem to have evidence that he wasn't right.
Oh, but you know how much insecurity your business is filled with, right?
Don't even get me started.
I mean, right? Like it's why I asked you about confidence. Even in the same interview I was talking about with Marin, because he says he's happier, one of the things he was saying is, well, once you eliminate all of the other anxieties in my life, all I'm on stage with is my fear. All that's left is my fear.
But fear and anxiety are very much the same thing. Anxiety comes from this undercurrent of fear, of loss of control. So if anything, it seems like he just transferred his comedic creativity from his anxiety to his fear. He compensated in a very messed up way.
What's your relationship with fear as it relates to this?
My relationship with fear is I try to look at fear and jealousy and anxiety as maps rather than enemies. Fear was a tool that kept us alive. It was the being afraid of the saber-toothed tiger, and anyone else with a big rock or a spear is what helped us pass our genes along. So as long as you don't let fear freeze you and you go, oh no, this is actually a tool and a map to who I actually am and who I maybe really, really want, you can make fear work for you. And you can make fear really funny if you just embrace it and admit to it.
How the hell did you learn that? There seems to be some real
trial and error, my friend. And also I learned that from all the years of denying fear. There's a great novelist named George Saunders, and he goes, If you have a problem and you don't acknowledge it, if you deny your problem, now you have two problems. So once I read that, I was like, oh, that's okay. That's true.
What about a show where you have people conquer their fears, and sometimes it's eat nasty cockroaches, and other times you're, for whatever reason, hanging on top of like a taxi cab that's suspended over water, and you have to jump from one side to another and grab a flag and then put it in, and then whoever performs the worst each round gets eliminated, and at the end you see who has the best fear factor.
Yeah, you're saying that so you're saying fear would be a factor in this show?
Yes.
Wow.
I'd even call it that, probably fear factor, maybe.
Yeah.
That sounds like a kind of show you could then years later launch like a podcast empire.
Yeah.
And make $200 million and
Think of all the comedians.
I don't know. That actually sounds pretty good. That sounds very tempting.
The Effervescent Tour is what he is doing right now. You still love touring? You still love the grind?
To me, it's not the only grind is the airport, and I've traveled long enough that I know how to make airport travel kind of easy and chill. I know little shortcuts around things. But being in a new city, walking around during the day, looking at life, going up on stage, I'll never get enough of it. It's really fun. It's fun. It's really fun.
Tickets for the tour, you can get them at PattonOswalt.com. And what he says is true. It seems like his personality. He just walks out there and is himself. That's certainly an easier way to do it.
What are the secrets of the airport, though?
Yeah, we got to get. We'll let you go on.
Is it a private jet?
It's patented.
No, I'm not. Trust me, I'm not a private jet. You're not talking to Kevin Hart. I don't have a private jet.
I like Patton's patented secrets for airport travel
what are they?
As a travel show. Or do you have a couple of little shortcuts for the audience?
One of the secrets, and again, one of the secrets comes from traveling so much and getting so many miles. If you travel anywhere, I don't care what airline it is, log your frigate, join every mileage program you can. Do not own a credit card unless it earns miles, because that will earn you, even if you're flying coach, you can get early boarding, you can get, and whatever it costs, get either clear or TSA pre-check. It makes things 10 times easier.
Well, that's not
and also never check a bag if you can avoid it.
That's
never
the key.
check a bag ever.
Yep.
All right, a makeup competition, Patton Rouge, based in Louisiana.
I love that.
You can get tickets to the tour, PattonOswalt.com.
He's so confused and frustrated.
And the 1% Club premieres next Thursday.
Billy will do this to you. I mean,
for Prime subscribers.
Patton, just from talking
Patton,
to Billy.
you got it for 20 minutes. I've had it for 20 years. That has stood in the
Billy, does Billy know that? Does he feel like he's still talking to me, or is he just kind of talking into the ether?
It only takes one to hit, Patton.
Oh, okay. That's okay. All right.
The 1% Club premieres next Thursday for Prime subscribers, Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on Fox, and the next day on Prime. Patton, lovely talking to you. I hope we didn't run you off forever. I'm headed to Los Angeles, and I want to do a South Beach session with you. I hope we didn't.
I would love to. Dude, this was a friggin' blast. I love podcasts like this where it's just controlled chaos. Bring Billy with you, but here's what I want. I want Billy to sit on pitches for 2 weeks, and then when he sees me, just blurt every insane notion out of his skull. I can't wait.
There is no shot Dan's bringing Billy on vacation with him.
I might bring Billy out there.
The first victim of Patton Harvey Oswalt.
See you later, Patton. Thank you, sir.
All right. See you soon, man. Thanks.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.